What's good, beautiful souls outside today? Today I really want to talk about being in the experience rather than thinking of the experience. And this is where the ego can kind of come play in, because it is not, as I've talked about, it is not bad to have an ego. We all have an ego. So do not judge yourself on that or try to get rid of it. It is a crucial part of our identity, is a crucial part of us being in this avatar body. As yes, we are this avatar body, but recognizing we are not only this avatar body. Recognizing that we are a soul with the body. Recognizing that we have reincarnated into this body, but it is an expression of our soul. Because, you know what I'm saying, when we are thinking about the ego and the experience, it comes to realization that it is good to have identity, as it is good to have me and then good to have you. But it is good to realize that also we don't want to think too much just of the experience. We don't even really want to think of the experience when we are in the present moment. But being in the present moment is not by thinking of the experience. It is being in the experience. So when we think of the experience, that is where the ego can kind of trick us or lead us away from fully experiencing, fully being present and being aware of the moment, the whatever we may be going through, if it's a circumstance, because that also ties into helping us feel our emotions more. And when we are able to feel our emotions more, we are able to accept them more, not suppress them, and feel them fully. And when being in the full experience, it also just helps you hold more gratitude for what is. Because when we tend to not be grateful, we tend to be reminiscing about the past, or reminiscing about the future, or just reminiscing about the experience and trying to give it an idea or ideology. I think that's how you say it. And try to put an assumption on it. When really what we are going through most of the time is, I mean, people go through hard circumstances, don't get me wrong, but it is when we are able to really just experience some circumstances, knowing that we are going to learn a lesson from it, knowing that we are going through this because it is ultimately for our evolution, it is ultimately for our expansion. And then that helps you also recognize in that moment what the patterns are, what is it trying to show you. Because them hard circumstances are always trying to show y'all something else, are always trying to bring up what you have not broke, what you have not expressed fully. And when we are able, sorry, I'm outside, but thought I saw someone pulling in. But when we are able to recognize what the pattern is trying to show us, what that loop is trying to show us, when it keeps repeating or when this circumstance keeps coming up that is challenging, we are then being more present with ourselves, being in the experience. Because thinking of the experience is just us reminiscing in another way. And it can really just have us blind to what is there, what is trying to show us. And being in the experience is how we feel more alive. It's how we feel more like a childlike state again. As when I have a 3-year-old son. He's finna turn 4 next month. That's crazy. But every time I look at him, and I've been trying to learn more from him as his thing is. Every time I'm like analyzing what he is doing, I'm just so in the experience. And I've been trying to get him off the phone because it's you gotta watch out, especially with kids. It's so easy for, and I as a kid was always on the game. It's so easy for him to get into the technology, get into the experience of that technology. So when they experience, they're feeling so what's at the moment. It's so easy for them to get caught up in leaning on technology. But that is why we draw boundaries. That's why the ego is good to have and good to not get rid of. Is it helps us draw boundaries. It helps us be like, okay, maybe I need to balance this out. I need to have this cheat meal once a day once in a while and not have achievement all the time. It is what the ego is there for us to also integrate with being whole, because we need to integrate the ego. We need to recognize that yes, we are all one, but also recognize that yes, we all have our identity. We all have our own unique, beautiful paths and passions. And yeah, I don't know what my camera's doing. Hope it's still recording. But yeah, back to being in the experience. So being in the experience is really so helpful, yeah. Um, I really can't I really can't describe it more than it's a stillness that comes with it, as when I'm in nature, as I am now. Nature is just, I feel so present, so flowing. And when we are able to integrate that into our own lives, with just the present moment, we are able to put the puzzle together. As life's like a puzzle, yeah. And every person you meet, every circumstance that you come across, or any situation that you may be in right now, is my bad, y'all. Camera got shut off. But but yeah, when we think about the ego, we tend to think about a lot about what they're. What was I talking about last? I think it was the ego. Yeah, it was about the ego, wasn't it? Oh yeah, it was about being still in nature. Sorry, this video, but my memory. I had to delete some videos, but my memory space got full. But yeah, really being in the present moment helps you integrate the ego, helps you calm the ego down. Because trust me, especially today, y'all. Like I had a time when the ego, or yesterday, because I like bringing my personal life into stuff, but I'm not gonna tell you too much details because I don't want to be bashing nobody, because I'm not bashing nobody. But my some situation had popped up, and you know what I'm saying, I had felt the anger. I had felt the anger really come to me, and I had addressed it to my friend that was a part of that circumstance, and I kind of addressed it. I wouldn't say in a mean way, but he took it in kind of mean way. So we had a little argument today from the text I had sent to him last night, and I could feel the ego urging me to say more and more. And when he said I was threatening him, but really I said it'll be different next time, meaning like I'm not gonna put up with him lying to me and stuff. And I should have addressed it in front of him, which I what? Hold on. And I should have addressed it to him, but I I didn't address it to him in real life, but I addressed it to him after, because I knew he was lying to me about something. But that's where them good boundaries come in to play, as when you're being lied to by what you call a friend, or who you call a friend, you can't you can't allow that to, as boundaries. You need to address it first of all. And I had addressed it, and he became defensive about it, or he didn't say he was defensive. He may not have been, but he was just trying to argue with me. But I had just cut it off. I blocked him. I cut it off because I had to draw that boundary. I had to not let my ego get in the way, because trust me, my ego was trying to get in the way. And these are these moments when we are tested. These are these moments when circumstances like this, where tension builds. And tension is not bad. Tension is here to grow us, to teach us. And it just, sometimes the universe, not saying he's a bad person because he lied about something. I've lied about many things in my life. And still, it's a work in progress. But it was just a friendship, and I gotta draw the boundary. I'm not gonna be friends with someone that, you know what I'm saying, has lied to me or has proven actions to me that are false. And yeah, it's just good to draw them boundaries, as when you do that, you are ultimately showing respect for yourself, and you ultimately you ultimately doing what you know is best for yourself, and drawing and saving your energy and holding space for what is most beneficial for you, what is real for you, what is authentic for you. Because when you do that, you are ultimately being authentic as well. Because I could have kept being friends with him knowing he lied to me and this and that, but that is not authentic, that is not real, that is not who I am. And there are times like that when you got to show up for yourself like that. And of course I could have kept texting him, or I could have texted him back being mean, and I could have still been texting him at this moment, but I choose just not to go forward with that, as I choose to draw these boundaries, save my energy, and save it for what I know is beneficial for me and what I really want to put my energy into. And that goes the same with movies, that goes the same with what you are observing, what your actions are doing throughout the day, as that is a part of my actions, as I could have kept acting on that situation or that circumstances, but I choose not to. So it's just, that is how the ego can, that's how we can interrogate the ego, interrogate, I think that's how you say it, the ego to drawing boundaries for ourselves, into knowing ourselves. Because a part of knowing ourselves is having that, is that ego come, is that ego helping us more identify with who we truly are. And that's why we have an ego. That is why the ego is associated with, if y'all know, the solar plexus located right there, that we all need. And of course it is great, don't forget about the heart. It is great to use all three, as if y'all haven't yet did a video about heart, brain, gut coherence. But that self-worth, knowing yourself, and self-understanding, as Joe Hudson, he has said many times, self-understanding is better than self-improvement. And I feel like they go together, really. When you are self-understanding, when you know yourself better, you can act on the things that are going to self-improve you ultimately better and be more aligned with your purpose, with your passions. And that is ultimately leading back to being in the experience, being in your passion, being in your love, doing actions with clear intentions, with clear vortience, yeah. I'm just, bro, these words, but yeah, it all comes back down to that, yeah, it really does. And you know what I'm saying, I'm so grateful to be out here, yeah, in the nature. I really do live in some beautiful, beautiful nature, and so many times I get stuck in the moment like I am now. And that's not a bad thing, because ultimately that helps us be in the experience. Be in the experience. Don't think too much about the experience. Be in that motherfucker. But yeah. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this quick little vid. My bad about the camera shutting off, y'all. Space got full, but many more vids to come. And don't try to get rid of the ego, because ultimately that's part of you trying to get rid of a part of yourself. And we need to integrate the whole self, as that helps us integrate the whole experience, the experience we are being in ultimately, and not just thinking of.